So friends, in this session, let us do 17.5. What is 17.5 and why we are doing 17.5 first before 17.1, 2, you will understand that. So actually 17 is ITC, apportionment and blocked credits. Okay, what is blocked credit? Blocked credit means no ITC in these circumstances. Whatever circumstances we are discussing, no ITC in this circumstances. So there are actually 12 clauses in which ITC will be blocked. So clauses means 17.5 will have clause A, clause AA, clause AB, B, C, D, E, F, FA, GHI. This way. Initial clauses will take a lot of time. Okay, and then there are some quick clauses, small clauses, and obvious clauses. In these clauses, ITC will be blocked. Blocked means what? You will be tempted to say and fight with me that allow ITC because we are using for business. But this 17.5 starts with the wording notwithstanding anything contained in section 16.1 and 18.1 of CGST Act. Notwithstanding anything contained means doesn't matter even if you are using for business. What is meaning of notwithstanding? Whenever there is a non-withstanding clause, it means that overriding effect. Overriding effect means if two sections are talking same about a particular thing, then the section which starts with notwithstanding will override the other. To give you a simple example, you want to go for a picnic, a trip, outstation trip with your friends. Your dad says yes, you can go. Mom says no, you can't go. So now decision is whose thing you should listen to. You know who has overriding effect in your house over whom. So that happens what dad says, suppose. So notwithstanding anything said by mom. So notwithstanding means that particular person or that particular thing will have a overriding effect. Here 17.5 will have overriding effect over 16.1. For example, let's start. First case where ITC is blocked is your motor vehicles. Which motor vehicles? Which are used for transportation of passengers where the sitting capacity is not exceeding 13 including driver. Okay, and word used actually is approved sitting capacity. In Indian context, we should use the word approved, means not how many you sit, how many are supposed to sit. Okay, how many you manage to sit is not the question. Approved sitting capacity not exceeding 13 including driver. Means what? What are we talking about? If a businessman purchases vehicle, he will not be able to take ITC. The cost of vehicle might be 10 lakh plus GST 28%, 2,80,000. He will take cost in his books of account as full 12,80,000. He cannot take ITC of 2,80,000. Even though businessman says, I am to using this car for attending board meetings, I am using this car for my client. So even if this college purchases car which is for the purpose of transporting its faculties, ITC will not be allowed. It purchases suppose van. You know that van, it is used for kidnapping in movies. That van. So Omni, right? So sitting capacity is not exceeding 13. So say those vans are purchased for transporting of students. Still ITC will be blocked. Why? Because no questions asked, ITC will be blocked. Notwithstanding anything contained in section 16.1 or 18.1 means no ITC in normal circumstances or special circumstances in following things. So government does not want to take a risk here because then everyone will come and take this big amount of ITC on luxurious thing like car. So they don't want to leave any open space here. We don't want to give you any ITC. But if sitting capacity is exceeding 13, then likelihood of this car or this vehicle being used for luxury is very less. Means see, I could have purchased some vehicle, SUV, and I would have called it used in business, but I may have used it for personal use. Chances of that happening is very high. So I will not show myself as end consumer, but I will show that I am using for the business. But ultimately, I will use for my personal use also. So government says we don't want to lose so much of GST by giving him ITC. So they say block the credit. But what is the chance that I will use bus for my family purpose? Chalo, let's go for date with my wife with bus. Impossible in tempo traveler, in bus. So it is less possible that you know it is less possible that I will use vehicle whose sitting capacity is more than 13 for personal use. Hence ITC in that case is allowed. So in short, if our college class is registered under GST and it will be registered, and if they purchase bus for transporting its students, will ITC be allowed? Yes, because sitting capacity exceeds 30. Got the point? But if they purchase van, no. That is the logic. Okay, so see, but then every point of block credit will have some exception. When block credit will have exception means what? ITC will be allowed. So it can happen na, that the vehicle which is purchased is used for transportation of passengers. Which transportation of passengers? Outward taxable supply of transportation of passengers. Means my business model of company is that I have 10 vehicles which I use for outward taxable supply of passenger. I charge them amount plus GST for traveling in my vehicle. Then I should be allowed ITC. What is my main thing in the business on which my whole business is running? Main thing is that vehicle. So on that ITC will be allowed. Second, if I am using that vehicle in further supply means I am dealer of the vehicle, means I purchased that motor car not even for my own use but for sale. So of course then ITC should be allowed, otherwise there will be cascading effect. So in that case also ITC is allowed. And last case when it is allowed is when I am using that motor vehicle for training in driving such motor vehicles. In short, those used by motor driving school. So see, the owner of motor driving school purchasing vehicle for himself, for his own use, ITC will be blocked. But when he purchases vehicle which is to be used for imparting training, then ITC will be allowed. So that is how it happens. And nowhere you will see that they have used the word transportation of goods. Blocked is on transportation of, where is the ITC blocked? Transportation of passengers. So if truck is being used, tempo is being used for transporting goods, ITC is allowed. That's it. So this is given, this whole point which we discussed is given in clause A. It is given in clause A. Okay. So write this in your provisions and concepts book. And I will immediately give you 4 to 5 one sentence examples. Quote them also in your provisions and concepts book. Block credit means what? Simple. No ITC in following cases. So if they give you that company purchased Tempo and on that GST is say 3,60,000, will you allow ITC? Yes, because it is used in transportation of goods. So you will allow ITC. Clear? So block credit actually is a very simple topic, but very important topic. Each time this 17.5 itself will have weightage of 5 marks. Not only in your inter, but also in your final. Same is correct with 49.5. So actually speaking, your 49.5 and 17.5, that together weightage will be 10 marks in the exam. So important is today's day. And I hope today we have maximum presentee, so no problem. Only one student is absent, right? Can I give you few? Actually, yes, test drive is not for further supply, but is that purchased? That would be sent complimentary by the manufacturer, isn't it? So if you are dealer, then of course you will have to purchase those vehicles which you are selling, but test drive ones will be sent to you. So that might not fall in this ambit. That is not your investment. Shall we go ahead? Write few examples. Example number one, first one. First example, tempo traveler, tempo traveler, tempo traveler in bracket sitting capacity. Guess what would be the sitting capacity? That tempo traveler vehicle. Tempo traveler in bracket sitting capacity 18, sitting capacity 18, close the bracket, purchased by a software company. Tempo traveler sitting capacity 18, purchased by software company for transporting its employees. For transporting its employees. What will happen? Tempo traveler sitting capacity 18, purchased by software company for transporting its employees. ITC allowed. Give a hyphen, write down allowed. ITC shall be allowed. Give a hyphen, write down ITC shall be allowed. Why? Because sitting capacity exceeds 13. Second example, Maruti Omni sitting capacity 6, 8, whatever it is, 8 suppose. Maruti Omni sitting capacity 8, Maruti Omni sitting capacity 8, purchased by manufacturing entity purchased by manufacturing entity, purchased by manufacturing entity for transportation of its staff, for transportation of its staff. What do you think? Give a hyphen, write down ITC is blocked. ITC is blocked. Okay. See, don't get carried away by this word of transportation of passengers. It should be outward taxable supply of transportation of passengers. This is to manufacturing entity. Giving outward supply of transportation of passengers is not its objective. Is it charging ticket to this employees? It is not charging ticket to these employees. It is just providing facility. And for providing that facility to its own employees, it had purchased this vehicle. So ITC will be, yes, ITC will be blocked. Clear? Third example. Company purchased company purchased a SUV sports utility vehicle, a SUV in bracket sitting capacity 7 for use of its director for use of its director for use of its director for visiting for use of its director for visiting various locations of plant, for visiting various locations of factories, plants. What happens? Blocked. So don't get, emotional. ITC is blocked. Okay, don't get involved in the story which ICI tells you. Blocked. Fine. Next example nahi, next clause. This is clause AA. This is clause AA. Clause AA. What is this? If government is not ready to allow ITC on vehicles, how can they allow you on more luxurious things? More luxurious are vessels and aircrafts. So ITC will be blocked. On vessels and aircrafts, ITC will be blocked. But what are the exceptions? If that aircraft is used in outward taxable supply of such vessels and aircrafts, means if that person is dealer. Second, used in outward taxable supply of training in flying such aircraft. Again, ITC will be allowed. Used in outward taxable supply of transportation of passengers, means Indigo Airlines having some aircrafts purchased which will act for transportation of passengers. It will be included in the fleet of aircrafts. So ITC has to be allowed. And used in transportation of goods. Friends, read this properly, this point. What is different in this point? Goods is fine, something is different. It is just said used in transportation of goods. They can be own goods, or you can be engaged in supplying outward taxable supply of transporting others' goods. Whatever it is, ITC will be allowed. But in A, B and C point, if you observe, what are they saying? Outward taxable supply, that is common. Outward taxable supply is common. In D point, there is no such thing. It is directly said used in transportation of goods. Got it? Once you complete it, tell me. I will give you examples for this. Shall we go ahead? So, challenge will be in understanding exceptions. You cannot just say vehicles ITC is blocked, vessels aircraft ITC is blocked. No, understanding is required for exceptions. So, can I tell you now examples? So, write down examples. First one, can I? So, write down examples. First one, Reliance Industries. Reliance Industries purchases aircrafts. Reliance Industries purchases aircraft. Reliance Industries purchases aircraft for transportation of its key managerial personnel. For transportation of its key managerial personnel. KMP. What happens? Blocked or allowed? Blocked. Give a hyphen. ITC shall be blocked. ITC shall be blocked. ITC shall be blocked. Understood? Second example. A pharmaceutical company, pharmaceutical company purchases aircraft for transportation of critical medicines and drugs. Purchases aircraft for transportation of critical medicines and drugs. What will happen? Give a hyphen. ITC shall be allowed. ITC shall be allowed. You know why? It is used in transportation of goods. Okay. Third example, FedEx, FEDEX. You have heard of this company? FedEx. Yeah, DTDC. FedEx, a logistic company. FedEx, a logistic company, purchases aircraft. FedEx, a logistic company, purchases aircraft FedEx, a logistic company, purchases aircraft for transportation of goods of its clients. For transportation of goods of its clients. Allowed or blocked? Allowed. Very good. ITC shall be allowed. Give a hyphen. Write down. ITC shall be allowed. That's what I was telling you. Key use for transportation. And please understand, use for transportation means actually they should be cargo aircrafts. Means you will purchase a normal aircraft and then you will say, I will transport something in this. Please allow me ITC. That will not happen. So there should be cargo aircrafts, specially designed for transporting goods. That's what we are saying. Last example, Vistara Airlines. Vistara Airlines purchases aircraft. Vistara Airlines purchases aircraft which will Vistara Airlines purchases aircraft which will act as a fleet of aircraft, which will act in the fleet of FLEET, which will act in fleet of aircraft, which will act in fleet, FLEET, fleet. Fleet means what should I say? Which will act as in fleet, FLEET. Fleet means there is a huge what you can say number of aircrafts which they have. That is called as fleet. Which will act in fleet of aircrafts for transporting passengers. For transporting passengers across various destinations in India. Across various destinations in India. Across various destination in India. What happens? What will happen? Give a hyphen, write down ITC shall be allowed. ITC shall be allowed. Why? Because it is used in outward taxable supply of transportation of passengers. Clear? So, next. This is clause AB. So, mind you, these were the lengthiest clauses. Other clauses were shorter than these clauses. Now comes clause AB. See, you are not allowing ITC on vehicles. But don't you think once I purchase vehicle, ठीक है, ITC is blocked. But after 4 years or 2 years, I will change the tires. So for purchasing tires, there will be cost. On that there will be GST. Or I may paint my car. Or I may change the steering. Something or other will keep on happening. What is this called as? Repairs and maintenance. So repairs and maintenance will need labor cost, and repairs and maintenance will need me to replace some items. So on that, should ITC be allowed? There will be GST on that. So should ITC be allowed of the GST which is paid for repairs and maintenance? So answer is no. ITC is blocked for what? Repairs and maintenance in relation to such motor vehicles, vessels and aircraft on which ITC is blocked. So if you are blocking ITC on vehicles, you should also block on its maintenance repairs. Not only maintenance repairs, also its insurance. So A to Z ITC is blocked. Don't block only half-heartedly on purchase cost. Block on everything. Otherwise it's very confusing. Government had not inserted this clause in the original act. Then a lot of problems. Should I take, not take? because they have blocked on car. But now no tension, they have put up a clause straightforward saying block ITC on insurance, repairs, maintenance. Which insurance, repairs, maintenance? Such insurance, repair, maintenance in relation to such vehicles, vessels and aircrafts on which ITC is blocked. Block it. Okay. So just a few days back, I renewed my insurance for vehicle. I should not even look at ITC, GST part. GST part becomes my expense because I cannot take ITC. But that motor car is in my balance sheet because it is used in my business. So it is in my balance sheet. But still I cannot take ITC. You will be tempted to fight, but you can't because you will be shown 17.5 clause AB. Clear? Friends, there are exceptions. If insurance is taken by whom? Manufacturer of such vehicles. Means Tata Motors take insurance for vehicles which are held by them as stock in trade, finished goods. On that, can they take ITC? Yes, because they are holding those vehicles for further sale. It's not their private property. I mean, why are they holding it as stock in trade? Can't they take out insurance for the stock in trade? Yes or no? Friends, yes or no? So, exception is availed by manufacturer of such vehicles, vessels, aircraft. Clear? So, I will give you examples. In that examples, you will also get example for this. Availed by insurance company for reinsurance. Should I give you examples? First example, insurance is purchased. Insurance is purchased. Insurance is purchased by paying premium plus insurance is purchased by paying what? Premium plus GST on it. Insurance is purchased by paying premium plus GST on it by manufacturing company on Tata Indica vehicle on Tata Indica vehicle which is used in transportation of its employees. Which is used in transportation of its employees. Which is used in transportation of its employees. What do you think? ITC? No ITC. So give a hyphen, write down ITC shall be blocked. Understood? ITC shall be blocked. Why? ITC shall be blocked. Why? Because you know insurance is taken for such vehicle on which ITC is blocked. You have to ask yourself question, is ITC allowed on this vehicle? The answer is no. So it will not be allowed also on the insurance. Second example, repairs and maintenance, repairs and maintenance done by Indigo Airlines, repairs and maintenance done by Indigo Airlines on one of their aircraft, on one of their aircraft, on one of their aircraft which is used, on one of their aircraft which is used for flying passengers, on one of the aircraft which is used for flying passengers. Huh? Allowed. Very good. Give a hyphen, write down ITC shall be allowed. ITC shall be allowed. Next example, Maruti Limited. Maruti Limited. Maruti Limited buying insurance, buying insurance, Maruti Limited buying insurance for 200 cars, for 200 cars manufactured by it, for 200 cars manufactured by it. What will happen? Give a hyphen, write down allowed. Why allowed? Because insurance premium is taken by manufacturer of cars for the cars manufactured by it. So ITC shall be allowed. Next example. See, very critical example that will help you to understand this point. An insurance company X, an insurance company X, an insurance company X has insured, an insurance company X has insured aircrafts worth 500 crores. An insurance company X has insured aircrafts worth 500 crores of an airline company, of an airline company, of an airline company. Got it? Full stop. It gets these assets, it gets these assets reinsured. It gets these assets what? Reinsured from Y insurance company. From Y insurance company. From Y insurance company by paying premium. By paying premium plus GST. See, what is this called as? Here ITC will be, give a hyphen, ITC shall be allowed. This is case of reinsurance. So ITC shall be allowed. Understood? This becomes case of what? Reinsurance. Means what happened? I am not confident that 500 crores of asset I will be able to insure. So what I do? I go to another insurance company. I tell them we will divide the risk. I am getting premium of 10 crores. I will give you premium of 3 crores. But please take some risk. Outsourcing. So now I can take ITC of GST which I will pay to that insurance company. Next. Done, examples understood. So this was your clause. AB. So actually A, vehicles, AB, sorry, AA, vessels and aircrafts, AB, insurance, repairs, maintenance for vehicles and vessels and aircraft. So here one series gets completed of block credits, that is A, AA and AB. Now this is B. This whole page is clause B. Very simple. On personal things, ITC should be blocked. See, you remember I told you that we will connect place of supply and ITC. Those who were present for place of supply, I said we will connect place of supply and ITC. There was a performance based service. Performance based service for which we were deciding place of supply as per section 12(4) of CGST Act. Performance based service was mostly a personal service. That's why it didn't matter whether it is given to registered person or unregistered person. Place of supply will be location where the service is actually performed. Suppose, simple, I am going for beard trimming. So beard trimming will be a personal service. ITC will be blocked. So ITC is blocked. So registered person takes it or unregistered person takes it, doesn't matter. So place of supply is location where the service is actually performed. I cannot say that I have to do beard for taking class. So allow me ITC. Even if I say that ITC will be blocked. Because see, it is blocked in case of beauty treatment service. Okay, I cannot say that I have to do cosmetic and plastic surgery for taking class. ITC will be blocked. Even model cannot say that I have to look good, so let me allow ITC on plastic surgery. It is blocked because looking good, ठीक है, is part of his profession. But he is looking good. She is looking good. For looking good, they are taking plastic and cosmetic surgery. Government says this becomes too personal. So we will have one rule for this. ITC will be blocked. You do plastic surgery of 10 lakhs, GST of 1,80,000, don't take its credit. Food and beverage, ITC will be blocked. Outdoor catering service, blocked. Health insurance, life insurance, blocked. Even if I take out health insurance of my employees, now actually employees are working in business and I am doing it for the benefit of my employees, but still ITC is blocked. So on everything ITC is blocked. See, someone should be end consumer. No? You cannot just keep on passing the burden. So for these services, the one who takes them is the end consumer. No ITC. Tell me once you do till life insurance and write them like this only. Food and beverages, outdoor catering, beauty treatment, health services, cosmetic and plastic. Acha, health services should be usually exempt only. But there are some health services like hair transplantation which are taxable. So on them also ITC is blocked. Renting of rooms by hospital in excess of 5,000 rupees is taxable. But on that also ITC will be blocked. Have you done till life insurance? See friends, what is discussed next? What would have happened if I would have purchased vehicle? If I would have purchased vehicle, ITC would have been blocked. But if only purchase point is said, then I will not purchase vehicle. If I need the vehicle for my business, I will not purchase it. I will take it on lease. There were many companies which will allow me to take vehicle on long lease. Getting it? Or I will only form one company, ask them to purchase, and ask them to give me vehicle on lease. Because ITC is blocked on purchase of vehicle, so I will start taking vehicle on lease. Yes, people can do that. There are group of companies, na. So one of the companies can be made fake company. Its only task will be purchase the vehicles, vessels, aircrafts, which I need actually, and keep on taking them on show agreement of leasing, and on lease whatever GST is paid of that take ITC. But government says wait, we will block. We will block on leasing, hiring of vehicles, vessels, and aircraft on which ITC is blocked. Getting it? So even if Omni, that Maruti Omni is taken on rent for transporting your what employees, ITC will be blocked. Then okay. If he is using for outward taxable supply of transportation of passengers, means if he is taking it on lease, transport company is taking Maruti Omni on lease for outward taxable supply of transportation of passengers, then ITC shall be allowed. ITC will be blocked. Why it is taking on lease? For transportation of employees, blocked. That's what the whole point is, that leasing of vehicles, vessels, aircrafts, ITC has to be blocked. For what all purposes ITC was blocked in case of purchase of vehicle? Same thing, instead of purchasing, if you are taking on lease, that also ITC will be blocked. Yes. Okay, now there is one note. Observe what is that note. Because I don't think students will study in so much depth, but you have to. You cannot just say vehicles, vessels, insurance, ITC block. You can't just say that. And food beverages ITC block. No. There is one note which is part of this 17(5)(b). What is that note? In above cases, ITC shall be allowed if inward supply is availed to make outward taxable supply of, read loudly, same category or as an element of taxable composite or mixed supply. I have a shop in which we are selling food items. So if in that I purchase food and beverages, ITC will be allowed now? Of course, yes. I am purchasing wafers pack from Lay's company to sell to you. So obviously ITC is allowed. So what is the point? ITC shall be allowed if inward supply is availed to make outward supply of same category. Food is purchased to sell food. ITC will be allowed. Obvious. Otherwise, cascading effect. But what is that part? Or as an element in composite or mixed supply. Airline company, I gave you example of that premium airline companies. They give you supply of transportation along with facility of meal, but surely they don't cook their own meal. They take supply from some XYZ catering company. So supply of catering is taken to give, inward supply of catering is taken to give outward supply of composite supply. Which composite supply? Air travel along with meal. So in this case, will ITC be allowed? Means Vistara Airlines takes catering service from Taj to serve meal to you. Will ITC be allowed? Yes. Eventually, they are recovering from you the cost of this meal also, because they are taking from you ticket amount, which is a bit high priced as compared to other airlines. That's the difference between economy airline and premium airline. In premium airline, you can expect all facilities, and that's why sometimes you book for premium airline. You know you are paying. What is the meaning of premium? Premium means high, na? Securities premium is there, na? Means shares are not issued at face value. They are issued at premium. Premium means what? A bit higher price. So they will charge you high and they will give you high services. But to give the services, they need inward supply. So of this inward supply, ITC will be allowed. That's the point. Then membership of club, no challenge in this. Membership of any type of club. This membership could be taken for employees. Still ITC will be blocked. After club, what do you have? Health and fitness center. ITC will be blocked. Then, oh, ठीक है. Traveling benefits extended to employees on vacation. Okay. So I'll dictate you till what point you have reached. Till what point you have reached? Note. I should dictate you note. Note is done. Okay. Right. Next point. Membership of club, health and fitness center. Membership of club, health and fitness center. Membership of club, health and fitness center. Got it? That was one bullet. Next bullet. Travel benefits extended to employees on vacation. Travel benefits extended to employees on vacation. Travel benefits extended to employees on vacation, such as leave, LEAVE, such as leave or home travel concession, such as leave or home travel concession, such as leave or home travel concession. Means what? I hope all of you understood membership of club, health and fitness center. Means gym membership is purchased by company in bulk to give it to its employees. On that gym membership there will be GST. Of that GST, company cannot take ITC. Company cannot say we are taking for our employees to keep them motivated. Government will say look at 17(5)(b). We are blocking the credit. Then blocked for what? Travel benefits. Means to keep my employees motivated, I send them on trip and I say that I will pay for your hotel, I will pay for your travel. On that there is a GST part. Of that GST I cannot take ITC because this is for business travel or personal travel. Read properly. What is the point? Travel benefits extended to employees on vacation. Can you circle the word vacation? Means now tell me, is this for business or is this for personal? It is for personal benefit of employee. Even though company is reimbursing this, company cannot take ITC. Clear? And now next line in bracket, write down in bracket, write down for any of the above, whatever we have discussed till now in clause B, for any of the above, comma, ITC will be available. For any of the above, ITC will be available if it is provided by employer, if it is provided by employer to employee, if it is provided by employer to employee under an government obligation, under an government obligation, under an what? Government obligation means what? Suppose um, employer is giving a hazardous task to employee of working in mines or working for in on a construction site, then maybe government has mandated some type of insurance to be taken. Maybe government has mandated for some type of insurance to be taken, isn't it? Now tell me, this insurance is given voluntarily by company or is it mandated by government? Mandated. So please go ahead and take ITC in such situation. Or another example I will tell you, there are various labor laws. One of the labor law is Factories Act. Factories Act says that you should maintain a canteen. You should maintain a specific type of canteen, compulsory. If such canteen is maintained and in that canteen food is purchased, ITC shall be allowed. Because now, to see the two difference. One is software company providing food to its employees. Second, factory providing food to its employees in a canteen which is maintained under Factories Act. Who will get ITC? Yes, that company who is purchasing food for factory, okay, will get ITC because that canteen is maintained as per legal obligation of the government. Clear? So write 1-2 examples. No. Perfect. We are not discussing supply. We are discussing ITC. So, okay. Now see what transaction we are speaking. I have employed, my company has employed her. Okay, she goes for trip. She's a very efficient employee. Now she goes for trip and I have given her LTA, leave travel allowance, or LTC. All of us will learn this in income tax. So what happens? She goes from X location to Y location within India and she submits me bill. She submits me bill. Listen carefully. Which bill? Airline company bill. So airline company bill will have GST. Of that GST, I cannot take ITC. That is a discussion going on. I will book the expense in my books of account as an employee benefit expense. In that employee benefit expense, there is a GST. Of that GST, I will not be able to take ITC. That is the discussion going on. Point is not me transacting with her. Okay. Clear? We are talking about input tax credit. So, any now actually company is taking a service from Air India for giving benefit to the employee. On that there will be GST. Of that GST, ITC cannot be taken. Same way, your question could have been health insurance could be given to employees. So we are not talking about transaction between employer and employee, employer giving insurance to employee. We are not talking about that. Employer gives insurance to employee, that's a benefit for employee, but employer himself cannot give insurance. Employer is procuring the insurance from New India Assurance. So New India Assurance is charging some premium plus GST. Of that GST we cannot take ITC. Got it? Huh? Company. Yes, company is recipient of supply because these things are given to employees via company. When I talk about food and beverage, then I am not making bill in the name of my employees directly. First I am procuring the food and then making it available to employees. Got it? So write 1, 2 examples. Write 1, 2 examples. See, I am giving only such examples which are not covered in our sums. Those which things will get covered in sums, I am not giving you again as examples. So, a company purchases company purchases food and beverages. Company purchases food and beverages. Company purchases food and beverages. Company purchases food and beverages for its canteen. For its canteen. For its canteen, which is maintained. For its canteen, which is maintained as per Factories Act. For its canteen, which is maintained as per Factories Act. What will happen? Give a hyphen, write down ITC shall be allowed as such food and beverages. ITC shall be allowed as such food and beverages is provided by employer to employee under government obligation. Under government obligation. Got it? Now, next. This is your clause C. This is your clause D. But C and D clause we are doing together. Very simple clause. If I construct, how many floors are there in this on this building? 3. If I construct 4th floor, imagine what goods would be required for that construction. What goods would be required? Cement, bricks, okay, steel, aluminium, sand, and what services would be required? Maybe civil engineer. On all these things, ITC is blocked. On purchase of these things, whatever is the GST, of that GST we cannot take ITC. Government says we cannot afford that. You taking so heavy ITC. So ITC is blocked on what? Works contract service. I'll explain you what is works contract service. Goods and services which are used in relation to what? Construction of an immovable property. Clear? Did you get my point? Then allowed. Then allowed. For contractor, it will be allowed. For construction company, it will be allowed. For normal businesses, it will not be. One more thing. What is works contract? What is works contract? Works contract means it's a combined contract of goods and service. Suppose, I'm just saying suppose. You go to a mall, say like S mall I saw here. That will be how many square feet? But lakhs of square feet. Correct? Can you fit a AC in that? Can you purchase a AC and fit? How many tons, how many ACs you will need? Very difficult to calculate. See, if you want to cool your bedroom or living room of say 200 square feet, you need a 2 ton AC or 1.5 ton AC. So imagine now lakhs of square feet. It's difficult, right? So there is a contract given. What is the contract? That you will do the mall centralized AC. Getting it? So now tell me, the one who takes the contract, what does he do? If you go to the parking of that mall, you will find some piping done. Right? That piping is of the for making that whole mall centralized AC. And when you are entering the mall, if it does not have the gate of pull and push, it will usually be open and there will be air curtain. So you will be welcome with air blowing on your face. Now that is not to welcome you. That is an air curtain. Air curtain means it will not allow the air from outside to enter in and air from inside to go outside. It will create a curtain. Getting it? See, if you have to do any particular premises AC, first thing we have to do is keep it closed, right? Otherwise, it's impossible to condition the air. What is AC? Air conditioner. It conditions the air. Fan is different, AC is different, right? What is fan doing? It is circulating the air. But AC is conditioning the air. So my whole point is, let's not go into engineering. Whole point is, that company is selling you goods or supplying you services. Or doing both. Both. Because you told them, you are the company who constructed that mall. You told them that take the money that you want, but do centralized AC. They said, did they do like this? That we will do centralized AC. This is the list of items. Provide this. No. They said we will do centralized AC. It will cost 1 crore rupees. The end. So this is a contract. This is which contract? Works contract. Which contract it is? Works contract. So works contract involves both supply of goods as well as service. Both. But government says we will call it as supply of service. It's actually a composite supply which have both goods and service. But then everyone will be confused whether to call it goods or service. So government has got facility of deciding whether to call particular supply supply of goods or supply of service. This facility is given in schedule 2. If you see in your index what is schedule 2, certain services are called as supply of goods and certain are called as supply of service. Whole point is works contract is a service. That's why we are using the word works contract service. Now these works contract service can be used in relation to an immovable property. So for that also ITC will be blocked. Block the ITC. So block the ITC for goods, block the ITC for services, block the ITC for combination of goods and service. Combination of goods and service in this context is called as what? Works contract. Block ITC for that also. If it is used in construction of immovable property. There are something called as pure goods, pure services. Pure means only, but works contract is combination of goods and services. If that is used for construction, block ITC. But then what people will start doing, they will start doing big work and stop calling it construction. They will call it repair, huge repair, alteration, modification. So government never believes in what words you call it. They believe in what action you have done. Correct, no? If I only say construction, ITC is blocked. Then you, as soon as you become CA and you have a client and some construction is doing, and there is a time when you have to block the ITC, you will say, wait, this is not construction, this is heavy repair. Let me allow ITC. I will justify to the officer, this is heavy repair. So for people like you who are intelligent and who want to evade tax, one point is given. What is the point? Construction will include repairs and maintenance, reconstruction, etc. You call it whatever you want it. We are not bothered with what you call it. But what is the treatment that you are giving? You are capitalizing to the cost of immovable property. Means it is going where? It is going where? It is going to the cost of building in balance sheet. It is going to cost of building in your balance sheet. We don't want to give you ITC on this. See, if I divide this class by putting a permanent wall in between, then you will learn in accounts whether it is revenue expense or capital expense. So accounting standard is there on property, plant and equipment, or as I learnt it, accounting standard 10, fixed assets, which says that if there is permanent increase in the value of the asset or functioning of the asset, then it should go in balance sheet. So if I put a wall and which is going to efficiently divide one class in two classes, because of which I will be able to conduct one more class, that means it is increasing capacity of my asset. So it should go to balance sheet, so that when it is going to balance sheet in as a cost of construction, ITC will be blocked. That's how deep it is. Who will tell you whether to put to balance sheet or P&L? Accounting standard. Means accounting standard will not directly tell you. It will tell you feature. Expense is there, but is it revenue or capital? Okay, so don't take me incorrectly. I am not saying whatever you capitalize you cannot take ITC. I am saying whatever you capitalize in immovable property will be called as construction, and of that you cannot take ITC. Okay, that way though ITC is allowed on capital goods. I have never said no. ITC is always allowed on capital goods. In fact, you had solved one question also where the answer was 4,76,000. Yesterday only. I told you solve. You got 4,76,000 as answer. And that were all were capital goods, pollution control equipment, molds and dyes. You remembered? You got ITC. So there is no problem in taking ITC for cap goods. But if you capitalize it to immovable property, then it is called as construction. And of that you cannot take ITC. Okay, that is the point. Chalo, then next. This is clause E. This is clause H. One of the clause was any goods services used for personal use, ITC is blocked. So I've just skipped that clause. There is nothing like telling in that. Goods destroyed damaged, lost, stolen, very danger na. ITCs or given away as gifts or free samples. What is this point? So deep. So deep point. You had kept your goods in godown. Acha, when can you claim ITC? Yesterday we discussed in section 16. What is one of the condition to take ITC? Goods should be actually received. Dispatch nahi. Goods should be actually received. So when goods are received, I took ITC, but goods are there in my stock now. So it's okay. I can take ITC. But there's a fire or there is flood, like in Kerala, and goods are damaged, lost. Then government says, don't be emotional, ITC we will block. You cannot cry now that our goods are lost, plus you are not allowing ITC. Your goods are lost means no longer you are selling them. When no longer you are selling them means there is no output tax. Then you cannot take ITC. If you have already taken, sorry, reverse it. Reverse it means pay output tax equal to ITC taken. No hard feelings. Because remember, ITC is a privilege, na? Why do you get that privilege? You get that privilege because you are going to use those goods for manufacturing such goods which you will be selling. Or if you are a trader, you are going to sell those goods. But are you selling? In this case, you are no longer selling. What is happening? They are lost, damaged, destroyed, even stolen. You cannot say I have done a FIR, my goods are stolen, please allow me ITC. They will say your goods are stolen, it's your problem. But did that thief pay us output tax? No. So we will not give you ITC. Simple. You know, there was excise duty. Earlier, there was excise duty. And excise used to be on manufacture. Excise used to be on manufacture. Means it was so comedy. Excise used to be on manufacture. Means duty will be charged on manufacture. And duty was supposed to be paid when the goods were removed. And now, what government said, you know, if your goods are stolen, means they are removed. Pay duty on that goods which are stolen. Because duty has come into picture when manufacture was complete. Now only thing is when to pay. We had given you a time to pay when the goods are removed. You have not removed it, but thief has removed it. Pay duty. So no hard feelings in tax. Okay. No sympathy. Unless a notification comes to waive off the duty. In special cases, government can take out a notification that, oh, so sorry, there was a flood, so we will allow you to keep the ITC. Already you are in loss. But then that is a exceptional circumstance. What is usual thing? ITC will be blocked. Because input should be equal to output. But what you are doing now? You are not paying output tax. Why you are not paying output tax? Because goods are damaged, lost, stolen or disposed of. Even you are giving goods as samples. Samples means what? You are not charging what? You are not charging output tax. So block your ITC. And lastly, purchase of goods from a person who has opted composition labor. This is the obvious point. One clause I want you to write specifically, clause FA. Please write, all of you, clause FA, newly inserted. It is not there in this slide. See if you can understand. Do you all know what is CSR? corporate social responsibility. Now, is it mandatory to do CSR for some of the companies? I don't know exactly what is the clause. Section 135 of Companies Act talks about CSR to be done. Criteria is turnover, right? Criteria could be turnover, paid up capital. I don't know criteria honestly, but a company has to do CSR. For doing CSR, it purchases some goods or service. Suppose my CSR activity is giving stationery items. One of the CSR activities giving stationery items to underprivileged children. For that, I purchase stationery. On this, ITC is blocked. ITC is, you cannot cry now in front of government that you only told us to do CSR. We are doing that. So please allow ITC. You can't say that. Because again, same logic. Are you selling the goods or are you donating the goods? There is no output tax now, so don't take ITC. One logic. Second logic, CSR will be done, that will be a charge against profit or distribution of profit. You understand difference between the two? Below the line item and above the line item. Let's simplify it. Dividend is given. Dividend is given from PAT or PBT. PAT means profit after tax and PBT means profit before tax. So dividend is given from what? PAT. CSR is also to be done from PAT. CSR expense which you do is disallowed while calculating taxable profits. When we will go to income tax, we'll learn this. You will be calculating that profit on which income tax will be payable. For calculating that profit, CSR expense cannot be taken as deduction. Because CSR is what? See, it is done mandatory of good. That is okay. But it is nothing but correct utilization of your profits. Getting it? So here ITC is also blocked. So write down. Clause FA. Amended, very fresh. They can ask you in the exam. Clause FA. Clause FA. Last thing before the break. Clause FA. Write down. Any goods or services which are used in any goods or services which are used any goods or services which are used in CSR activities as specified in section 135 of Companies Act. Any goods or services which are used in CSR activities as specified under section 135 of Companies Act. Okay. So friends, we have done those clauses which were most relevant at your level. At your level, these clauses will be relevant. Just count how many we have done. Out of 13, how many clauses we have done? 8 only. Only 8. These were different. Works contract was different. 9. Fine. So one was any goods or service taken for personal use. That was one we have not done because it was obvious. 2 to 3 others you can do only at final level. So all important clauses for you we have covered. So now we will meet after the break. When after the break we'll meet, first thing we'll do is dedicated questions on 17.5. Okay, dedicated questions on 17.5 we will do, and then let's decide what to do. Okay, I want to do mixed questions also on net GST payable. Let's see how it is possible. Fine, see you after the break then. Bye bye.